In this video, I'm going to explain how you can make your own playlists and routines for Kovaaks and aimlab. This is super useful because a lot of the current routines out there aren't individualized for your own skill level and your goals. The first thing you need to do is figure out your skill level. You can do this pretty easily with a Voltaic or RA benchmark sheet for Kovaaks or aimlab. I'll link all four of these in the description. I wouldn't recommend running default aimlab rankings to do this because I've found they aren't very accurate. Now, based on your skill level, you want to find appropriate scenarios. I don't love running just the Voltaic fundamental routines themselves because they don't really account for people who are like plat and static and bronze and tracking. However, these playlists come with a ton of cool scenarios to add to your personal routines. Typically, you'll want to pull from fundamental routines that are your rank or one rank higher in the type of aim you're trying to train. For example, if your reactive tracking scores are all silver, you might pull thin gauntlet gold from the gold fundamentals. Now, the best way to tell if a scenario is good for you is just to play it. If you feel like the targets are so small or so fast that you'd get a high score by randomly swinging your mouse around, then the scenario is really too hard for you and you'll get nothing from it. If you feel like the scenario is really easy and you're in the top like 5% or something, you probably won't get a ton from it either. Now, there's a ton of different places you can find scenarios to practice on. The benchmarks themselves make great practice scenarios. A lot of the Voltaic fundamentals will even include their own benchmarks. Just searching for different scenarios you see in YouTube videos and asking people for the scenarios they use can result in some really good scenarios. If you want to practice some kind of specific scenario like Passu, you can search Passu and come up with a bunch of different variants so that you'll learn the bot patterns better and get to try harder and easier versions. As of the newest Kovaaks update, you can actually search for different scenarios based on the type of aim you're trying to train. Also, many scenarios will even include their aim type in their name, so you can just search like tracking and come up with some tracking scenarios. Also, when you're first starting to make your own playlists, you should probably talk to some experienced people. You can join the Voltaic and RA Discords for their advice, and you could join my own Discord for my advice. I put links to all three of these in the description. You also need to think about the kind of aim you want to develop. If your goal is to get really good at Halo, you'll want to practice a lot of precise and reactive tracking, and some target switching to get good at moving your crosshair to the target and then sticking it there. This is because it usually takes a lot of bullets to kill someone in Halo. If your end goal is to be really good at Valorant, you'll want to include some static dots, but mainly speed target switching and Pokeball scenarios for fast flicking. I explained this a lot better in the video on the top right. You also want to include some reactive tracking to develop better reaction time. If your goal is just to develop like a good aim profile overall, then you'll want to balance everything and put emphasis on the categories you're worse at. If you want more aim training advice, subscribe. Thanks for watching.